Residents in India's richest state, Maharashtra, has been casting their votes in local elections today, with polls set to close in the coming hours. With Mumbai as its capital, it's one of India's most populous states, with around 97 million eligible voters. Now, this election is also being seen as a contest between India's two major parties, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP and the Congress party led by Rahul Gandhi. Now, both parties are part of their respective coalitions in Maharashtra, and this is what they look like. The current governing coalition is called the Mahayuti. The major parties there are the BJP, the Shiv Sena, and the nationalist Congress party. And the opposition grouping is the Maha Vikas Aghadi, consisting of the Indian National Congress, the Shiv Sena UBT, and the Nationalist Congress Party SP that have both split from their counterparts in government. Up for grabs are 288 seats in the state legislature. Let's get more on the elections. And joining me now from Delhi is Rahul Verma, a fellow at the Center for Policy Research. Rahul, good to have you on the program again. Now, how is this election shaping up between the two main coalitions? What have the polls been saying ahead of polling day?
Thank you, Girish, for having me. I think with the kind of disasters or wrong predictions exit polls or pre-polls had during the general elections of 2024 and then recent assembly elections in October, I think most pollsters have stayed away from predicting who's winning, and especially in Maharashtra, because of something which you just mentioned. Some people are describing Maharashtra elections as a Maha mess election because two major parties sort of like split away. And so a lot of rebel candidates from different parties are contesting. In such a scenario, I think it would be difficult for anyone to make a forecast about who is winning Maharashtra this time. We'll have to perhaps wait for the final counting on 23rd to figure out which of the coalitions are ahead.
Yes, I think it is fair to say that no one knows anything at this moment. But how much of this might carry on from the national elections where Narendra Modi's BJP and its NDA coalition there pretty much lost the majority of seats in Maharashtra?
Absolutely right. Maharashtra was one of the three states, I would say, or three big states where the NDA coalition got some drubbing. Congress party, in fact, performed very well in Maharashtra, especially in a direct contest against BJP in some parts of Maharashtra. So given that, I think, they won a large number of seats. But if you look at the difference in vote share, it was less than a percentage point. So while the Congress alliance did better in terms of seats, in terms of vote, the contest is much tighter than one would anticipate. And I think that also makes things a little bit more difficult to make any forecast about this election. And something I want to emphasize that in last few elections, I would say last 25 to 30 years in Maharashtra, no party has got majority on its own. So in some ways, what seems to be happening that these two coalitions are made up of three parties each. And so at best, what one would hope is that unless, only coalition can come to power, not a single party majority. And given that the politics in Maharashtra has been fluid, even if an alliance comes with majority, you never know who's going to form the government if these parties can switch sides.
Yeah, well, let the horse trading begin, Rahul. Now, we saw the ugliness of religious tensions, particularly targeting Muslims during the national elections earlier this year. Has that been the case this time round, particularly with Mumbai being the base of Shiv Sena's Hindutva ideology?
So, Girish, with Maharashtra, even one other state in eastern part is having elections, Jharkhand. And I think in both states, economic issues, the questions of unemployment and sort of like welfare schemes, whether they are functioning well or not, those are there. But as you rightly pointed out, the issues of sort of like religious divide, communal tension, in Jharkhand, the issue of illegal immigrants, I think all those questions are also part of the narrative, and they would definitely shape up the final verdict. I think in Maharashtra, it becomes also trickier, something which you pointed out, Shiv Sena having the Hindutva ideology, but now Shiv Sena has fragmented into two pieces, and one piece, and we don't know which is going to basically carry the legacy of former Shiv Sena, but the son of Balasaheb Thackeray, Uddhav Thackeray, has joined Congress. And since then, I think they have taken a more moderate position on the question of Hindutva politics, whereas the faction which moved out and has joined BJP seems to be taking much more sort of like aggressive posturing on the question of Hindutva politics.
Yeah, of course,
So
but
it's
local
also
issues.
like a legacy battle
Yes,
in that sense.
yes, but indeed, local issues will always trump anything else. So, what are some of the big bread and butter issues on the minds of voters as they cast their ballots, particularly in Maharashtra?
See, in some ways, India is an developing economy, so questions of economic anxiety is always going to be at the forefront. In some ways, economy also isn't growing for a large section of the society, right? So for like the top 15, 20% might be doing well, but I think the real wages for bottom 50% has been stagnant. And so in that sense, the question of unemployment is very, very important. And incumbent parties in everywhere are also trying to mobilize voters on the sort of like the question of development and the infrastructure. That is the second sort of like point. Inflation continues to. So see, I think the bread and butter issues are always constant in elections. It's just the nature of the conversation of narratives change. Some of these were there during the 24 Lok Sabha elections, are there now. But Maharashtra elections is also going to be shaped not by these state level narratives, but what is happening in each region. So Maharashtra can be divided into 6 regions, but also like local level contests, since lots of important players are contesting as independents and not from any parties. And some of these politicians also hold important economic clout in their regions because they control, say, sugar factories or sugar industries or cooperative banks. And these are sort of like economic lifeline in the rural parts of the state.
Yeah, of course, looking east as well, Jharkhand state is also holding elections there. But in general, are these two elections going to be seen as a litmus test of Narendra Modi's leadership, but also the strength of the opposition Congress and the India alliance?
See, I think each round of elections, definitely one narrative after the results are going to be whether the incumbent Narendra Modi and BJP are steady or are they on decline, and same for the Congress, is there some improvement or not? Given how things are stacked at the moment, the BJP-led alliance is incumbent in Maharashtra, whereas the opposition, the Congress and JMM alliance, is incumbent in Jharkhand. I think it's 1-1 to go with. If it remains there, I don't think it tells us much. But if it changes in any way in favor of the Congress alliance or the BJP, I think that would be read as a sign of which coalition has an upper hand. And more importantly, given sort of like you rightly described Mumbai being the financial capital of India, it's an important state, not just in terms of size, but also the kind of resources it can provide to any party. If BJP somehow loses Maharashtra, then in the southern part of India, western southern part of India, it won't have any state where it is in power, right? Karnataka, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all are run by opposition parties. And in Andhra, where its ally is in power, they are a very, very small player. So in that sense, the southern half of BJP, India would be out of BJP's reach in that sense.
Okay, Rahul Verma, always appreciate your analysis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Girish, for having me.